that's loud. Let's make sure my chats are up. Upcoming. How is everybody doing today? I hope everybody enjoyed that new, I guess, intro, you could call it. Something like that. I think it's called, placeholder video on Rumble. Thought it was fun. Thought it was interesting. Got a good amount of things to cover today. We're going to have an update to programming at the end, so you'll want to stick around for that. Let's see, how's this looking? Okay, there we go. Just stick around to the end. We'll have an update the programming. But we're about to start. So today is Tuesday, January 6th, 2026. It is episode number 30 of Addressing the Issues. So today is the 5-year anniversary of the murder of Ashley Babbitt. We know exactly who did it, as it was caught on video. No arrest has ever been made. However, the family has settled for roughly a $5 million sum in a wrongful death lawsuit regarding her murder. If you don't know what I'm referencing, that would be January 6, 2021. And yeah, there was a murder that day. That was the only death related to the quote-unquote January 6th insurrection, or Fedsurrection, as many people like to call it. But on this 5th anniversary, the White House also released a synopsis of events which took place that day, including one of the damning videos of Nancy Pelosi, a great stock trader, by the way, where she states, "I take full responsibility in regards to not having sufficient police and National Guard security for the Capitol building." So that's where we are today on the 5-year anniversary. I would highly recommend you check out whitehouse.gov/J6, I believe it is. It's not the, what you were fed by the media 5 years ago, for sure. It's the account that most people that looked into it got. If you look deeper into it, you will see these videos, particularly of Nancy Pelosi, who was the Speaker of the House at the time, I do believe. So, yeah, I would highly recommend at the end of this stream, everybody go check that out. Or whenever you have time, it's it'll open your mind a little bit to what actually went on that day. But yes, it is the 5-year anniversary of the murder of Ashley Babbitt. And we've never seen justice for her. It's unfortunate. This is the one death that isn't talked about related to the Capitol, and the ones that are talked about didn't even happen that day. So it's interesting stuff there. But I'd highly recommend everybody go check out the actual series of events that took place, because it was, rather unfortunate, rather strange. People embedded in the crowds that day. But yeah, 5th year anniversary, figured I would bring that up. So now we have some more updates following the operation in Venezuela. So regarding the plan to get oil production back up and running in the next 18 months in the country, President Trump claimed in an interview that he believes that restoring oil production in the nation could take even less than the 18 months that was projected. He has also claimed a tremendous amount of money will have to be spent, and the oil companies will spend it, and they'll get reimbursed by us or through revenue. So given that statement, it seems that if the oil companies that are sent to restore production do not break even, that U.S. taxpayers will be on the hook for it. I don't know how I feel about that. I think that's, not something to taxpayers should be paying for, especially given the money that these companies have, hundreds and billions of dollar companies, trillion-dollar companies. But this is worrying, especially given all the fraudulent uses of the taxpayer dollar recently. So I hope there is sufficient oversight to ensure that these billion and trillion dollar companies are not double dipping, taking money away from the U.S. citizen. So hopefully there will be oversight, especially if they are being reimbursed by taxpayer dollars. I guess in other news related to the operation in Venezuela, civil war fears are growing currently in Venezuela as people struggle to fill the power vacuum in the wake of Nicolas Maduro's arrest. Since the U.S. did arrest and extradite the head of a country, whether he was legitimate or not, I do feel he was illegitimate given what we know about Smartmatic in the elections in the country. It seems we do at least have some responsibility in ensuring a peaceful transition. But reports last night of armed men on motorbikes and gunfire in the capital have people around the world on edge, especially what is supposedly the interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, who was the vice president to Nicolas Maduro, being sworn in the office yesterday. At the time, she was embraced by diplomats of China, Iran, and Russia. Obviously, people see an issue in that, especially given the action the U.S. took to ensure that wouldn't happen. But this is while rumors are swirling that former Vice President Hugo Chavez, that the former Vice President to Hugo Chavez and current Minister of Interior, Justice, and Peace, Diosdado Cabello, is using a militia-style group to further his claim to power. We talked about him a while back with the account of a former Venezuelan general who was already in U.S. prison, actually two. But both Diosdado Cabello and Delcy Rodriguez were cited by ex-generals Cliver Cordones and Hugo Carvajal as being instrumental to the Maduro regime and leaders in both the election fraud and drug trade. Given their status of both previously being vice president and people of power in the Maduro regime, and it's not out of the question that these two would be willing to fight to fill the power vacuum left by the United States' removal of Maduro. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. I think everybody's goal was a peaceful transition. If a civil war breaks out, it's not going to be a peaceful transition, and it's going to be really hard to get oil companies in to ensure that the oil's being pumped and that U.S. investment from years and years and years ago is actually being beneficial to the U.S. I believe it was all the U.S. oil companies but Chevron were kicked out of the region, of the nation. But there were plenty of more oil companies that invested in the nation to procure oil for the U.S. So we'll see where that goes. Hopefully there won't be a civil war there, because we'd kind of be on the hook for that. But I mean, that's, I guess, all we have. We'll just have to see how it plays out. Like I said, hopefully, it will be peaceful. Hopefully they will have a normal democratic election. But with armed gunmen on the streets, people hunting down dissidents, it doesn't seem like that's highly likely as of right now. In a related story, a Polymarket bettor placed roughly $34,000 in bets on the ousting of Nicolas Maduro to win $400,000 in total. All bets on the account were placed between December 27th and January 3rd, and all related to the removal of Maduro, with the largest bet being a $14,000 bet on Friday night, just hours before the operation. Nobody knows who the bettor was or their location. But if this was some sort of insider betting, there's a bill already set to be introduced this week by Congressman Richie Torres to criminalize capitalizing on non-public information on betting sites, called the Public Integrity and Financial Prediction Markets Act of 2026. My first thought on this was cool, but let's get rid of the same thing on publicly traded stocks for Congress, maybe. Maybe that would be the priority. I think those guys have a little bit more insider information. And frankly, until Congress is barred from insider trading, they really shouldn't care what the rest of us trade on. I'm sorry, but you guys are the guiltiest of the guilty parties. I don't think whoever did this was in Congress, because they said that Congress is kept out of the loop on this to ensure that the operation happens smoothly. But honestly, I hope it was some 19-year-old sitting on the USS Iwo Jima who got the news that it was go time tonight. He threw down a $14,000 bet, while at the same time he whispered to his phone, I'll see you soon, Maduro. And he pressed the confirm bet button. That's just smart gambling right there, especially if you're going to go do it yourself. So, and if that's the case, I don't care. He earned it. He's trying a lot harder to do right than any gambling site does, in my opinion. So, assuming it's not someone in Congress, good for whoever got that payday. Good for them. That's crazy, though. Somebody capitalized that much money off of this situation. I guess the oil companies will be getting more. But I don't, running the gambling sites dry, maybe it'd be a good thing. In other news, yesterday was the last day in Congress for Marjorie Taylor Greene following her resignation letter written in November. This is like I said, I thought that was going to be one of the bellwether elections, but she completely dropped out, so we'll see how it plays out in her district in the future. I thought she represented her constituents rather well. In other Congress news, Congressman Doug LaMalfa passed away today at the age of 65. Representative LaMalfa served California's 1st District since 2013. But this means that in just the first 6 days of the year, the balance in the House of Representatives has fallen from 220 to 213 favoring Republicans to 218 to 213 favoring Republicans. Midterms are right around the corner, where historically the party of the president loses seats. This isn't a good omen to the new year, for sure. Losing 2 people in 6 days, 2 seats in 6 days, is not good by any stretch of the imagination. I fear that one night in November, it's going to look a lot worse. But it's time for Congress to get in the gear. Like I've said many times before, next year's New Year's resolution is going to be looking for alternative employment, it does seem. In other congressional news, Congressman Jim Baird of Indiana, along with his wife, have been in a car accident which required hospitalization. Reports claim that both Jim Baird and his wife are responsive and in stable condition currently. Keep those 2 in your prayers, Jim Baird and his wife of Indiana. Keep Doug LaMalfa's family in your prayers, Doug LaMalfa of California. It's been a rough day already. I figured I'd give you guys some good news to wrap up on, and then we'll go into the ending of the show. The market's at a record high today, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average rising 484.9 points, just under 1% at 0.99%. Before closing for the first time ever at over 49,000 points. The high today was 49,509.92 points. That's on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So the markets seem to be roaring right now. Always a good thing, especially for the people that are watching that are investing money in the market. I'm sure you like to see that money grow. And it does show that, industry is slowly coming back. President Trump had equated it to his tariffs. If that's what it is, awesome. If that's not what it is, I'm just glad to see the number going up. It means that something's going right in this country. It's going right for some people, and that's good for me. So I'm gonna get into I guess some programming updates. I offer you the new year, new deal, or new me, or something like that. We're gonna start going live Monday through Friday. We used to just do Monday through Thursday last year. New year, new deal means Monday through Friday. There's still going to be guest episodes. Those are going to be uploaded on Saturdays. The time on those is going to be a little fluctuational, I guess. If I have it done before Saturday, it will be uploaded in the morning. If I record it Saturday, I'll probably have it out by 5 like they normally are. But I figured, I'd attack the algorithm even harder than I already am. So you guys will still be getting guest episodes. You'll still be getting me live. It's just one more day live. Those will be Fridays. It'll be at the same time, 4:45 Eastern time, like we always go live. And then, like I said, guest episodes will be Saturday. The time might fluctuate. If I have it ready, I'll have it out for you in the morning. So, if you're cooking breakfast, you want to watch something, you'll have it. If I don't have it by that time, obviously, I'll have to record it, edit it, and I'll have it out hopefully by 5 every Saturday. That's the new year, new deal. You like that? I like it. I think it'll be fun. It shouldn't affect the quality. I already have this week's recorded. It's a little shorter, unfortunately, talking about the guest episode, but the quality, I do believe, was great of the conversation. So I think you guys will enjoy the episode coming out on Saturday, not Friday now. One last thing before we go today, I will be having a game night tonight. This is something else, part of the New Year, New Deal. I'm going to just be hanging out. I'll be on YouTube and Rumble. I'm going to play some games, hopefully attract some new audiences. I think it could be fun if you guys want to hang out, chat. We can talk shop. We can talk, anything, politics, sports. I think the game tonight will be NASCAR 25. We talk about NASCAR a lot on here, but I think that's the game I'll be playing tonight. So if you guys want to join me, I'll be here probably about an hour and a half, maybe 2, starting at about 8, hopefully. Sometime between 8 and 9, I'll go live once I get everything set up. And then, I'll be hanging out, playing some video games. If anybody wants to join me, feel free. If, video games aren't your cup of tea, still feel free to join. You can chat with me. I'll be reading chat. We'll be looking at chat, hanging out with people. If you don't want to, if that's not your cup of tea, I'll see you again tomorrow at 4:45. But we're going to start doing these every once in a while throughout this new year, just to attract new audiences, maybe get people interested in politics that aren't typically, and also just give you guys a chance to know me better as a person. I'm just a guy. I like chilling, hanging out. So if you guys want to hang out with me later, feel free to join. Should be pretty fun. But that's all I have for you. That's the new year, new deal, new me, whatever you want to call it. Episodes that are live, 4:45 still, Monday through Friday. Guest episodes at 5, and then we'll just throw in some game nights when we're hanging out, just talking, chatting it up. I'll get to know you guys a little bit. You guys will get to know me. That's what's going on tonight. If you want to join for game night, feel free to. It should be fun. If not, no worries. I'll catch you again tomorrow at 4:45. So yeah, make sure you guys are liking, commenting, sharing. If you haven't already subscribed, be sure to subscribe, follow, turn notifications on. Your viewership is the most important thing. So I like when you guys are in here hanging out, talking with me. And we'll see if we can get some new people to join us. So yeah, NASCAR 25 tonight, sometime between 8 and 9 will be live. We'll just be hanging out. So that's all I have for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. So I guess I'll sign off here to all my people on the East Coast. I hope you get home safe. To my people further west, I hope you finish up your workday strong and get home safe as well. It's always fun hanging out with you guys. Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye-bye.